you hear the name Disney, immediately you think of magic, princes, and princesses, and some of your favorite animated movies. Nothing too spooky, right? The truth is, there is a more sinister story behind Disney. Some of you may believe that Disney just became demonic overnight. Sadly, it's always been this way. Walter Elias Disney was born on December 5, 1901, in Hermosa, Chicago, Illinois. He was an American animator, film producer, and entrepreneur. To this day, he is known as the pioneer of the American animation industry. Disney began his first series of fully animated films, featuring the character Oswald the Lucky Rabbit in 1927. Just a year later, in 1928, Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks co-created Mickey Mouse, the popular mascot of the Disney Company today. Sounds pretty innocent, right? Well, in March of 1920, at just 19 years old, Walt Disney joined Demolay International, becoming the 107th member of Mother Chapter. When you do a quick Google search of what Demolay International is, it's an international fraternal organization for young men, ages 12 to 21. And if we take a closer look, Walt Disney joined the organization when it was just a year old. The founder of this organization was Frank S. Land, also known as Dad, whom Disney knew very well. If we look into Frank S. Land, we see he was involved with the Freemasons. We have no evidence to connect Walt Disney to the Freemasons personally, but we can see how Demolay International and the Freemasons have a bit of a connection through Frank S. Land. James chapter 5, verse 12 says, "But above all, my brethren, do not swear, either by heaven, or by earth, or with any other oath, but your yes is to be yes, and your no, no, so that you may not fall under judgment." And this is where it all began. The indoctrination of demonic, cultic symbolism within our childhood programs. Disney was never subtle about the use of magic, spells, and witchcraft in their movies and animations. In fact, Disney made the use of magic into something innocent and fun. But the imagery, symbols, and characters come from a much darker background. Something that is taught in these secret organizations, such as the organization Walt Disney was involved in. Let's begin with Peter Pan. This lovable character was originally created by Scottish novelist and playwright J. M. Barrie as a character in his novel, The Little White Bird, in 1902, a novel written for adults. He then wrote the play Peter Pan in 1904, then the novel under the same name in 1912. As usual with Disney recreated stories, Barrie's original Peter Pan story was quite dark. Here's an excerpt from Chapter 11 of Wendy's story, Peter Pan in 1911. But of course he cared very much, and he was so full of wrath against grown-ups, who as usual were spoiling everything, that as soon as he got inside his tree, he breathed intentionally quick short breaths at the rate of about 5 to a second. He did this because there is a saying in the Neverland that every time you breathe, a grown-up dies, and Peter was killing them off vindictively as fast as possible. Now, how is this demonic? It sounds like a fictional story with a dark twist, nothing major. Well, in Greek mythology, Pan is the god of the wilderness, shepherds and flocks, and rustic music. He is depicted as a goat-like figure with horns and is often seen with the pan flute. How do we know there's a connection between Peter Pan and this goat creature? Because here are the panpipes. This is no coincidence. And as we go through these animations, I want you to be aware that kidnapping is a pervasive theme in these films. Peter Pan is no exception. Not to mention that the original writer, J. M. Barrie, created these characters from real children he seemed to be obsessed with. The Llewellyn Davies boys, Jack, Peter, George, Michael, and Nicholas, inspired the Peter Pan stories. After their parents, Arthur Llewellyn and Sylvia du Maurier, passed away, Barrie became even closer. Some articles even state that Barrie became an unofficial guardian to the boys. If we do some research on Pan the Greek god, we learn that he enjoyed causing panic and chaos. Many early Peter Pan artworks depicted Peter playing the pan flute, while chaos and fighting were all around him. Chaos that he started. Pan was also very lustful, which was seen as both his strength and biggest weakness. The entire background of Peter Pan gives a creepy, sinister feeling, and it's not unusual for Disney to be interested in it.